Welcome. I'm back after a week on a big television production. The first thing we will look at is Sleeping Warrior's reaction on the fact that Ranty is no more a flat earther. Oh dear. And then we will have a look at Taboo Conspiracy's reaction on SciManDans video from last week. And then I will talk a bit about my plans for photography. And in the end. Okay, let's start. There are probably a few who missed that Ranty left Flat Earth. The reactions among the Flat Earth fanatics become strong. According to them, he's a liar, traitor, and they claim that he have been paid. Some have tried to debunk the conclusion that Ranty made after analyzing the image. Let's start with the first Flat Earther. Who is the first Flat Earther that Ranty had contact with in the beginning of his career as a Flat Earther? Sleeping Warrior. He's made 2 videos about this. Let's begin with the first one.
Right, I want to make 3 or 4 points. And it's all to do with motives and intentions to deceive. And I want to show these because I'm not familiar with what the claim is with regards to how much drop there's meant to be. All I've heard so far is there's drop, demonstrable drop. And I don't know how much, I don't know what's being claimed. But what I want to show you is a couple of pieces of evidence for you to weigh up yourself and interpret. First piece of evidence is on Fight the Flat Earth's recent video, he's got Ranty chatting away about this video, the image. 2 points about the image. We all know that the original image has got this bit on the left-hand side, right? But you can see that Ranty's not presenting that. Now, is it on its own? It's not enough because it could be that he got the image from Roohifs. It could be that he cherry-picked it himself. Who knows? But the point I'm making is that he's appealing to the Fight the Flat Earth audience and he's not showing all of it. Now, on its own, it's 50-50. But they've got Bev in the background and they're actually selling t-shirts or sweaters or whatever saying #ThanksBev whilst plugging their show for the whatever it is they're doing, something to do with ghosts. And they're saying thanks, Bev, and they're saying come and buy the tops because any money that's earned will go and do this, that, and the other. Now, what Bev actually did was he went back to the same location and he got another image. And to be fair, he wasn't trying to match it. He was just trying to get another image to see whether or not the mountains were relative in the same position to the tower. And his conclusion on the evidence that he obtained was that it was similar. They've credited Bev, thanks Bev, in a way that makes the audience think that Bev's proved something. And all he actually did was went back to validate some part of it to see whether or not the elevations were consistent with the tower. But by presenting it as a thanks Bev, it implies that Bev's proved Ball Earth, which is totally dishonest.
Sleeping Warrior tried to fool us that they haven't seen Ranty's video, and what his conclusion was. I think that's bullshit. It's only so he can make a crazy statement, and he thinks that we can't call him a liar then. He don't want to understand the meaning with Bev's image. It confirms the first image in the same way you do when you do scientific experiments, something Sleeping Warrior usually pretends he can do. To confirm something, you have to be able to repeat it, and that was what Bev did. Then he tried to get the fact that the picture was cropped to be some kind of proof that Ranty is trying to hide something. Poor Sleeping Warriors. This didn't start so well.
Now,
These
back to
guys
the
on
claim.
a low YouTube level of producing like people.
Yeah, but that's an old
What
trick.
is going on? Sorry, Anthony.
Go ahead, Anthony.
News.
I know. I just wanted to make those 2 points now. What I want to focus on now, on the back of those 2 points, in this image that we see, there are 2 pieces of footage. There is something in the foreground that looks like it's stretched out widthways, and there's obviously the clear mountains in the background. But I think we can all agree that there is 2 points to the whole image, right? There is something in the foreground, and there is the clarity of whatever's in the background. And I'm going to say that the stuff in the foreground is significantly closer because it appears to be bigger, and I'm going to show evidence to indicate, well, to prove what it actually is. Now, bear in mind, we don't know what the claim is for how much is supposed to be dropped, but we know that these mountains are all about 2,000 feet tall. And we know that if we're seeing 2,000 feet tall, we know that something that would be hidden, say, if it was, say, less than 1,000 feet, you would expect it to be behind the Earth's curve. If I was to show you evidence that shows that this mound here is 1,000 feet tall, and it is clearly not just above the horizon, it is 1,000 feet above the horizon. Okay, it might be a little bit squashed. But if I showed you that this was 1,000 feet tall, this mound at the bottom, and therefore then I could say there is no missing drop in this evidence at all, then they're going to have to come up with something to quantify the drop that they're claiming. Because the mountains are 2,000 feet. I'm going to prove to you that this is only 1,000 feet. And if we say that that's 2,000, that's 1,000, plus it's a bit squashed. That's why it's not 50%. I'm going to say that the sea level here is the level Earth, the plane that we're living on.
Sleeping Warrior obviously lives in a two-dimensional world. He forgot something very important. Here is a picture from Roohifs' latest video. I linked the video in the description. I recommend you watch his analysis of this image. Let's see, what did Sleeping Warrior miss? The distance to the various mountain peaks. It's more hidden on a mountain that is 91 kilometers away than on a mountain that is 64 kilometers away. Oh dear, he's so stupid.
Because that's going to be ground level at 0. So I want somebody to quantify how much drop is supposed to be there, because we know that this is 1,000 feet high. And when you acknowledge that that's 1,000 feet, unless Google Earth's wrong, we've identified what this lower part of the ground is. And it shows that there is no drop. So can somebody please quantify how much drop's supposed to be missing in this evidence? Because there doesn't appear to be any, guys.
Sleeping Warrior presented this on Nathan Oakley's show. Nathan and his other guest thought this was a great presentation. After this, Sleeping Warrior published one more video.
These 3 stooges are telling everybody that there is missing curvature. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at the image, the original image that we've all seen. There we go. But now what we're going to do is we're going to play around with the levels on it. And if you play around with the levels on it, you end up with an image not dissimilar to this. Now we're going to zoom in to this little bit over here. And we're going to notice that we can see what looks like a toothpick sticking up. Look at the proximity of the toothpick relative to the, I'll call it the mini Stonehenge outside. I think it's the Sea Life Centre in Blackpool. There's the car park. Don't know exactly where he is in the car park, but he's in there somewhere. Let's zoom back out. And I just want to focus on this again because this is super important. There's the little Stonehenge thing. Right, and it's relative to the building, so you can see the gist of it. It's a structure, it's meant to be there. Look at what happens at the other end of this line. And because this video is dedicated to Ranty, Conspiracy Cats and Roohif, one of you threes is going to have to explain this. So let's follow it up here. And look what this line of sight takes us to. Oh look, it takes us to a turbine. Now, this turbine, obviously it's not in 3 dimensions, but you can see by the shadow on the ground. Look down here in the bottom corner, you can see that it sits on an elevation of 700 feet. Now, because we have a positive identity on this turbine, specifically this turbine, and we've checked it, it's not that turbine, because that doesn't intersect it to the way that the picture shows. It's not that turbine. This is the only turbine it can be. This is at 700 feet. Let's go back to the darkened image, and let's look at the imagery. We can see the tops of the tower, the tops of the mountains are 2,000 feet. We can see the top of this foreground mound is a best part of 1,000 feet, and as we're coming down, this comes down to 700 feet, and well, we can see a little bit lower, can't we, guys?
Okay, Sleeping Warrior, the same error once again. What is the distances? Oh dear, I can't stand more of this fool's silly claims. I will be look at others' attempt to debunk this on Friday. Now we move on to the next flat earth fool. Last week, SciManDans released a video about Taboo Conspiracy. It was about something most people already know. Taboo is not interested in facts. He publishes without reviewing the facts. Wolfie 6020 and Bob the Science Guy got Taboo to publish videos based on fictional stories they sent to him.
Hello everyone! Well, SciManDans' troll army attacked me hard in the comments again yesterday, making me aware that he must have made another video regarding yours truly, Taboo Conspiracy. Let's see, did SciManDans attack the fact that I filmed 21 miles across the lake with zero earth curvature and no distortion? The source of the laser and its reflection should have been 223 feet below the globe horizon from my point of view. I think we can agree that there's one thing liars are really good at. Can you guess what that is? I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? But before I address the organized globe liars, let me first reiterate that the retired F-16 pilot Mike and the video I shared on the subject are legitimate. Essentially, the liars, led by Wolfie, tried to discredit the former F-16 pilot's information with this vile scheme of theirs. Mike most certainly was an F-16 pilot. He has provided his name.
Taboo recently released a video about this. He is furious. He allowed himself to be deceived to publish fictional stories as facts. But has he done anything wrong? Not according to Taboo. Instead of admitting that he made a mistake, he thinks that we debunkers are evil, and we never, according to him, have been able to explain all his fantastic evidence for a pizza-shaped world. Taboo, if you're watching this video, I have two messages for you. On Friday, I will have a look of some of these so-called proofs. And my second message. One of your proofs is one that I sent to you. Which one it is, I will not reveal on Friday. That information will come later. I think it's amusing to see that you still have not revealed my scam. Okay, that was all about Taboo for this time. More on Friday. Now on to the next topic. In Friday's video there will be a section about photography. Is there anything special you want me to include in upcoming episodes? Send me an email, write a comment or contact me on Discord. I'm also finishing up in-depth videos for members and patrons about photography and filmmaking. The first one will be released within a few weeks. Does this sound interesting? Become a member or a Patreon. But now, to the last topic. As I mentioned earlier, Ranty became the first to be awarded the Arctic Scholarship. That he has now left flat Earth does not change anything. I promised Ranty to attend to one of my workshops for free. A promise I will fulfill. I have talked to Ranty and he wants to join. When we see an end of this pandemic, I will set the dates for upcoming workshops. I'm looking forward to teaching Ranty more about photography and filmmaking, and we will have the opportunity to make long distance observation. I'm convinced that together we will create more white swans. That was all that I had for this time. Do you want to support the channel? Subscribe, like the video, become a member. And thanks for today. See you all on Friday.